You already know how this goes. Hi, I'm Chad, and welcome to another motovlog on my 2017 Aprilia Tuono V4 1100 factory. And in today's video, I'm going to tell you what it was like to crash with my Misano 2 Dainese D-Air suit. And I'm also going to talk a little bit about why I think airbag-equipped leathers are probably one of the best investments that you can make today in your motorcycle riding equipment and experience. Now, in case you haven't seen the videos that I posted a couple weeks ago from my experience at the first round of the 2022 season of the California Road Race Association Championship, in which I took my first win ever in a race on my Triumph Daytona 675R, going into the second race of the day, I crashed trying to avoid somebody who was crashing in front of me on the sighting lap for that race. Unfortunate situation for sure, but I was able to walk away from it with just some bruises and overall soreness. So, good outcome, all things considering. The other rider was okay as well, aside from a moderate concussion, but my understanding is she's totally good to go now. So, good stuff there. So the suit that I was wearing was a Dainese Misano 2 D-Air suit. It is equipped with Dainese's D-Air airbag technology. So it has 3 accelerometers and a GPS unit that all collect data to determine what is happening with your situation and determine when a triggering event is occurring. Now, when an event like that occurs, the system recognizes the anomaly and triggers in, I believe, 10 milliseconds, deploying the airbag and providing you with some protection. So that if you were to land on your shoulders or collarbone, the airbag would absorb some of that impact and make it less likely that you would sustain a serious injury. And it did just that. Though it was a low side crash because I was trail braking into the corner and the rider in front of me rear stepped out and they stopped accelerating, so the amount of distance between myself and her got to be very small very quickly, which caused me to panic, squeeze the front brake harder, lock the front wheel up, and send me for a good old slide. At some point during that slide and on my way into the dirt, I caught traction and got bucked up into the air and went flipping, eventually landing on my head, which I do remember, and is evidenced by the damage to my piece of GPRR. Glossy carbon, rest in peace. But at some point in that moment, my airbag deployed. And it's crazy because I don't even remember it happening. I remember being tossed around, I remember the impact to my head, and then I remember finally coming to a stop off in the dirt, way off of the racetrack in front of my bike, and looking back at the track. And when I went to go get up, I realized that the amount of movement I had in my upper body and my arms was somewhat limited, and this made me panic a little bit because I hadn't realized what had happened. But upon seeing my shadow, I noticed that my airbag had deployed. So, relieved, I got up and made it over to the other rider just to ask if she was okay. And after getting back into the pits and taking a look at my gear, I noticed that the shoulder plate on my right shoulder was crunched in a bit, and I had a small bruise on the ball of my shoulder underneath that. Now, I've actually subluxated that shoulder before crashing, so it's a little bit weaker than my left shoulder anyways, and it was relatively unharmed. It didn't dislocate, there were no other damages to it aside from that small little bruise, so good effect by the airbag. I'm confident that things could have been worse. I possibly could have dislocated the shoulder again, or broken my collarbone, or done some other kind of harm to my body if it hadn't been for the airbag going off in time. So it then deflated over the following 30 seconds or so, and now if I go to reconnect the leads on the suit to activate the D-Air system, it just flashes red forever, letting me know that it is in alarm mode and the airbag will not function, naturally because it's been deployed. But again, the airbag really did its job, and I was able to walk away from that crash as a result. So another piece of gear that I have, which you may or may not have noticed in previous videos, but see the little light that is on my sleeve there? That is the light indicator for my Dainese Tuono D-Air jacket that I use when I ride on the street. Now this also has Dainese's D-Air system, although with a different algorithm that is designed for the street. So it works at a dead stop, whereas the D-Air race system that is in the suits will not work below, I believe it's 10 kilometers per hour. So basically, if you're just walking around in the pits and fall over, your airbag won't go off. But it might with this jacket. That's just in case you get rear-ended by a car or something. But in addition to the different algorithm, this jacket also has more airbag coverage. The airbag goes down in front of your chest. The D-Air race system that's in the Misano 2 D-Air and other D-Air race suits only covers your upper back, shoulders, and collarbones. So just the front and back, very top part of your torso. Now my understanding is that the MotoGP riders, including Valentino Rossi, who had an influence in the design of the D-Air race system, did not like the airbag in the chest as it obstructed movement and breathability. So they didn't include it. But it is included in the D-Air jacket for street use. So the electronics and everything for the airbag, but the airbag itself actually exists in a back protector within this jacket. Whereas with the D-Air race system in the suits, you still want to wear a back protector because you don't have coverage on your middle and lower back. So this is a little bit more of a turnkey solution. And I'll tell you what, after my crash at the track the other week, and after looping my Supermoto back in October trying to do a wheelie, I'll tell you what, I don't know how comfortable I would be riding in a suit without an airbag, or just riding altogether without an airbag. Even when I looped the Supermoto, my left shoulder was pretty sore for a couple months. I think I knocked the wind out of myself, and I'm willing to bet that the airbag would have softened that significantly. And I don't know if it's just me and the fact that I'm an adult now and care a little bit more, I think, about my well-being and personal safety in my body than I may have 5 years ago. I think it's well worth the investment to get yourself some airbag-equipped riding gear, both for racetrack use and for street use. But anywho, those are my thoughts on airbag technology for motorcycle riding, my experience with them so far, and ultimately my recommendation for you to invest in airbag riding equipment. And with that, I'd like to thank you so much for watching and ask that if you enjoyed this video, you give me a gentle little click of the like button and consider subscribing for future motorcycling content such as this. Also drop a comment below. Do you have a D-Air equipped piece of gear or another piece of airbag equipment for your motorcycle riding pleasures? Let me know. Comments below. What do you have? Why did you buy it? What do you like about it? Have you been thinking about procuring some airbag equipment? Let me know. Comments below. But thanks again so much for watching, and I will hope to catch you in the next one. Until then, later.